Russian propaganda lies. Let's just be really clear and calm about this from the outset. What's happening in Ukraine isn't some conflict. It's definitely not a special military operation. It is a war. It's been going on nearly 4 years now, causing, mass casualties, just devastation. This is a war. We need to call it that, a war.
Absolutely. And, for listeners who joined us for our previous deep dive on the how-to guide for arguing about Ukraine, well, you'll remember we touched on these kinds of narratives. We've put a link in the show notes, by the way.
Right. So the question really is why? Why does the Kremlin go to such lengths to avoid that specific word, war?
Well, it's very calculated. If you call it a war against a neighbor, it doesn't exactly spark patriotism, does it? It actually does the opposite. It makes people think twice. Why should I go die for the Kremlin?
Resistance.
Exactly. But rebrand it, call it a special military operation, and suddenly you can trigger these manipulated ideas like kin altruism, protecting supposed brothers and sisters.
The saving our own narrative.
Precisely. Or defense. It hides who's truly responsible, hides the real costs. I mean, think back to the start. Many Russian soldiers apparently didn't even know where they were going.
So it's a deep psychological play. War means resistance. SMO lets them mask what they're actually doing.
That's the core of it. And fundamentally, from a legal standpoint, there's just no ground for it.
Okay, explain that. The legal side.
Sure. It comes down to the UN Charter, Article 2, Paragraph 4 specifically. It prohibits using force or even threatening force against another state's territory or independence.
Right. Standard international law.
And there are only really two ways around that. Article 51, which is self-defense, or if the UN Security Council authorizes action under Chapter 7.
And Russia's case?
Meets neither. Zero. So the invasion is aggression. It violates international law. Simple as that.
Okay, that's the foundation then. Russia's invasion violates the UN Charter. No self-defense claim, no UN mandate.
Got it.
Got it. So with that clear, let's look at some specific things Dmitry Orlov has been saying in this video.
Yes, let's break those down.
First up, he claims it's not a war. He says, and this is a quote, "Who is that war with?" It's basically a proxy conflict.
Yeah, well, calling it something else doesn't change what it is. You have tanks crossing borders, sustained fighting, massive destruction. That's war, legally, materially.
It's just semantics trying to shift perception.
Exactly. Key fact. Changing the label doesn't change the facts.
Okay, next claim. Orlov asserts Ukraine isn't, well, real. He says Ukraine is the Polish version of Russian cry, not really used much until the 20th century. Ukrainians are Russian, speak with a regional accent.
That just flies in the face of, well, reality. Ukraine's been a UN member since 1991. It has internationally recognized borders. There are treaties guaranteeing its sovereignty.
It's a sovereign country, period.
Right. Key fact. Ukraine is a sovereign UN member state.
Then the language gets really disturbing. Orlov uses this phrase. It's sort of like rats in the rafters or something. You have to get rid of them.
Chilling, isn't it? Rats in the rafters.
Yeah.
That is classic textbook dehumanization. It's a tactic used throughout history to strip people of their humanity, to make violence against them seem acceptable, even necessary. It removes empathy. It's a huge red flag.
A very dangerous sign.
Key.
Fact. Dehumanization is a warning sign of atrocities.
Definitely.
He also throws around these broad accusations.
Oh.
Basically, it's a terrorist cult in Kyiv. Mafioso-type government,
Yeah.
lawless, drug-infested mafia state.
And notice there's no evidence offered. None. It's just a sweeping smear.
A common propaganda trick.
Absolutely. Discredit the target wholesale, paint them as illegitimate, dangerous. It's a way to license aggression without needing actual proof.
Just throw mud and hope it sticks.
Yeah.
Key fact, smears are not evidence.
Precisely.
And finally, Orlov predicts Ukraine's doom. He says, Ukrainians as an ethnic group, they're done. Country of pensioners. Agrarian, deindustrialized, depopulated region.
The inevitable collapse narrative. We see this a lot.
What's the goal there?
It's predictive propaganda. It's meant to demoralize Ukrainians and their supporters, and it works to normalize the ideal annexation, making it seem like, well, it was going to happen anyway.
So presenting opinion as unavoidable fact.
Exactly. It's an information weapon, not analysis. Key fact. Forecasts of collapse are tools, not facts.
So we've seen Orlov's specific claims, but this use of language, it seems bigger than just him.
Oh, absolutely. It's about euphemisms. Rebranding. It's almost a method of governance now.
Like?
Well, think about economics. A decline becomes negative growth. Sounds less bad, right?
Okay.
Same principle here. An invasion becomes a special military operation. It's linguistic anesthetic. It numbs the audience, shifts the moral weight off the people making the decisions.
It dulls our judgment. Key fact. Euphemism equals anesthetic. It dulls moral judgment.
That's the danger.
Now, look, we know some people listening might actually support Russia's actions, or at least Orlov's views. And we want to say this directly to you. No one with a functioning moral compass can really justify sadism and barbarism. Supporting this kind of thing, it means stepping away from basic humanity.
In this deep dive, it's not about yelling or scoring points. It's about carefully, slowly looking at the falsehoods and comparing them with the facts. With the receipts, as they say.
Look at the evidence yourself. Key fact.
Yeah.
Sadism and barbarism cannot be justified.
This is not protection. It's not liberation. It's certainly not Christianity. This is sadism and barbarism, and that is a fact.
And fundamentally, as we've established, this is a war, and it violates the UN Charter.